Sitting with me is Piri Thomas. Mr. Thomas is the author of Down These Mean Streets, an autobiography of his early years in Spanish Harlem and the problems of a dark-skinned Puerto Rican. He's written about street gangs, vagrancy, sexual deviation, drug addiction, and at 22 he was sent to prison for from 5 to 15 years for attempted robbery. Mr. Thomas has since become one of the most prominent spokesmen for the Puerto Rican community. You've had an absolutely fascinating life. It kind of reminds me of Claude Brown's book on the Negro in Harlem. Do you see a tremendous difference between his book and yours? What is the difference?
The difference is the same. Hot and cold running cockroaches and king-sized rats and ghettos. See, cockroaches don't respect nobody.
Well, I understand that. Piri, I understand that. But what I'm saying is this. For instance, I noticed that there have been very few instances of the Puerto Ricans protesting in comparison to the Negro population. Is there a specific reason for that? You know that the Puerto Rican community...
Déjame decirlo como es, all right? My black brothers been here 300 years. Bent backs and slavery. And my Puerto Rican brothers swinging. Economic slaves. Dig it anyway. But dig it. Any time a Puerto Rican wants to go back to his identity, he goes back to Puerto Rico.
Do you feel most Puerto Ricans think they're going to go back to Puerto Rico?
Yeah, I know my aunt. She went back in a box.
No, but we're really cooling it too much. I really am trying to get from you.
All right.
Piri, there is a difference between the Negro problem and the Puerto Rican, and I'm interested in it. And I think everybody, who listened to the program would be. There is a specific difference, and you must know it. You live there.
All right. Once more time, huh? What's
okay.
He say? All over this great land of ours, a word called America. Apaches and Shawnees, Puerto Ricans, Jews, Polish, Italians, black men, Puerto Rican, Mexicans, whatever made this country come to being. We've got one beautiful land, baby. And if we make one beautiful land, we're going to make one beautiful world. You talk about Negro and Puerto Rican, that our structure who's trying to say, hey, you're white, you're better than that. You're green, you're better than that.
Aren't Puerto Ricans white? I mean, you consider the Puerto Ricans white,
hey,
don't you?
Baby, are my eyes blue?
No, my eyes blue? No, Piri, seriously, I think we all agree on what you just said.
We're joking. What I'm trying to say is one thing.
Yeah.
If everybody in this whole world of ours were born the same color, for example.
But we're not talking about
time,
that.
baby.
Go ahead, all right, go ahead.
We're all born with blue skin, green hair, yellow eyes. There'll be one that'll come around and say, my eyelashes are longer than yours. Dig it, baby. Everybody goes home at night to their father, to their mother, to their sons, to their daughter, and pick up and say, hi, baby. And people go to church all over this land and bend a knee in prayer. In the Bible, Confucius, the whole bit.
I understand that, but what I'm trying to do is try to find out. I think it's important to know about differences so that all the things you say can be real, instead of just being a vague kind of overall picture. And
are you vague, baby?
Well, I'm vague about certain things that I don't know about, and I have a feeling that I feel, for instance, in this city, there are differences between the Puerto Ricans and the Negroes, and I was very. Wait a minute. Let me put it this way. Let me stop you. And you wrote a great book about the hard life of a Puerto Rican. And because it was about a Puerto Rican, it got a great deal of press, more so than if it had been written about a Negro, because many books have been. So there is a difference, and I'm just trying to find out from you what the differences are and what's happening with the Puerto Rican community.
All right.
It's very important to all of us, just
Okay.
like it is for any ethnic group in this city. And that's what I kind of think you should tell us about. And, you know, I know the vague things. They're fine. You know, I'm with you. But I think I'd like to know you're a special man. And because of that, you should have an attitude and understanding of these differences, which I'd like to know about. That's as simple as I can put it.
Okay. I think this. I think that I wrote a book. I ran once down the street with a bullet hole in it, one lousy eighth of an inch under my heart. Tore a hell of a hole out my back. And I said to myself, si no te mueres, será bien. You talk about Puerto Ricans and the Negroes, black men, Afro-Americans. You can talk about Irish.
We'll get back to the same thing.
I want to say one thing.
Go ahead.
That we all are human beings, man.
All right. I'm with you. Let me do this. Maybe I'm not getting. Are there any people who have some questions here that would like to come?
Hey,
Come on up.
did I cool you off?
Well, you cool me off because you came back to what I believe and you believe about beautiful
All right.
people. But
Then
I want to go one
ask
step
me,
further.
Time.
I want to go one step
Ask
further.
me again.
I want to know specifically, since you wrote a book about Puerto Ricans, and I want to know how they feel in relation to their Negro neighbors, in relation to other people in this city and other cities, and why there is a different problem. But let me do this before we do that. I would like to hear from some. Here's a young girl. Come on over here. Maybe she can hit you a little different or get you into what I'm talking about. Sit over here.
She's prettier than you are.
That's true. That's true. That's not very hard. Okay, Piri? What's your name?
Elise Klein,
Elise Klein. Go ahead, Elise.
and I'd like to know, are you still a resident of Harlem?
You better believe it.
I thought you lived in the Bronx, don't you?
I live in the Bronx, I live in South Side, I live in East Side and West Side.
You-
Because one thing is, when I was born, my mother had an umbilical cord cut from me, but nobody in the world can cut my barrio from me.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let's see. Who else is here? Come on. Come on. Yes, come on. Come on right up.
I'd like to ask you two questions.
What's your name? Go ahead.
Miss Marks,
Go ahead.
number one, why are you avoiding Mr. Weintraub's question about the difference? And number two, is there a tremendous amount of prejudice in Harlem between the Puerto Rican people and the Negro people?
I believe the power structure would like this very much to happen. Not only between Puerto Ricans and Negroes. You see, the Indians are almost dead.
No, but realistically, is
All right.
there, and honestly, is there a prejudice problem between the Puerto Ricans
No.
and the Negroes in Harlem?
No.
Because
good
the
to hear.
press
I
is...
said no!
Okay.
Okay, fine. Number two,
I said no! And
All right,
Carlos
you
Russell
gotta-
and all our people, we're having a meeting and dig it.
oh, I hope not. I hope not.
Hey, baby.
No, my
Fine.
name isn't Baby, it's Miss Marks. Number two,
You call me
why,
Baby.
Why are
All right, listen. I'm sorry. Piri, our time is just unfortunately running out. So let's just wrap it up right now, and we'll be back with the left bank.
All right, just let me say one thing. Thanks for having me, all right?